Hello, viewers. This is the Art Lounge Alley, and I'm going to be streaming the project stream, part 47. Oh, forgot to change it. Alright, well, this is actually what I've been working on. This is what I was looking for. I was doing a little bit of digging yesterday to find the Mobius study that I was working on a while ago. This is an old one. But I wanted to actually show you guys this before. Just beautiful work by Mobius. If you guys have missed my intro, I had a special intro a while back showing you guys Mobius's work, talking about Mobius for some time. You guys can check that out in the collections section. So when you go to the video section and you filter based on collections, you will see a highlights folder. And in that folder, there's going to be a stream called Mobius. So click on that if you guys want to get more familiar with stuff and see a little bit more of his work. But this is just beautiful, incredibly skillful work done by him. He's one of my favorite artists, absolutely, hands down. And I was just studying it because, you know, why not? There's so much effort put into this and such creativity. Like, what I absolutely love about it is all these backgrounds, like all these designs, like that little this little store that you see on the right side, you know, and the buildings themselves are very creative, and there's just so much detail there that I thought it's worth it. It's absolutely worth taking time to study it, to try to replicate it, to get in the shoes of the artist and see what the process was like for him to create all this stuff. You know, really, how do you recreate all that stuff, or what was it like for him to make all these different lines and dots and little details? What does it feel like to be in that process? And it's very different, you know. Let's say, in comparison, for those of you who've been tuning in to drawing comics, where I am currently drawing John Buscema's comics, it's a different process in comparison, you know. Not a matter of better or worse, it's just different. You know, it's a very cool experience to just kind of go from one sort of style to another and just live through it and recreate stuff. So this is what I've been working on. I of course wanted to focus on the city in the background, and I took some time to study that and recreate it and really focus on it. Still ways to go, but I will say I'm really starting to notice, like, the difference between traditional and digital, and I still, without a doubt, love doing traditional work. I don't think it would even take me as long to recreate this if I was to do it traditionally as opposed to digitally, I want to say. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. It could be that because I'm doing this digitally, I'm claiming that to be the case. But what I did notice is that there's a delay, and that could be something to do with my tablet, but nonetheless, it just hinders the process. There's a delay, like, let's say if I'm creating the dots there on the bottom, as you guys saw here, there's plenty of them over here at the bottom where the horse is. But as I'm doing those, there's like a delay between the time that I dab it and what I see on screen, and it just kind of ruins that the flow of things, you know. Whereas, forget about that. When you're doing it traditionally, there isn't anything like that. But anyways, you know, just going back to how amazing that work is, I'm absolutely loving it. I should have finished this a long time ago, but I'm happy to jump back into it, and that's actually what I was doing last night. I was taking some time to get into it, you know, really bring it more and more closer to the original. And his coloring is also really beautiful, and it varies, actually. If you guys check out his other work, now thankfully I got a collection of his stuff. and if you take a look at it, his painting and his colors that he chooses for each of his comics, it's gorgeous stuff. All right, well, that's pretty much it for that. I wasn't actually there wasn't any intention to show that yet, but why not actually to I guess make up for not having that special stream that I was looking forward to ready yet. And there's a little something for you guys. So continuing on, and I'm definitely drawing inspiration from looking at his work in terms of working on the backgrounds, adding more details, that sort of thing. I also had to take time and create a new brush because, as you guys could see here, the lines are very consistent. The original, if you look at the original, the line width is very, very consistent all around. I mean, certain places where it's very thin, but for the most part, if you look at the buildings in the background, it's pretty much the same thickness. So I had to take some time and create a new brush. That's like a technical pencil, mechanical pencil, and yeah, it helps with the process. And all those dots really do have composition to them. It's not just, let me just create any sort of thing. Like, no, they're placed specifically in certain areas to give that part of the image a certain feel. Certain harmony. I think this woman who's listening to his work actually deserves more attention in developing her features. Kind of curious now, like, talking about tablets and the process. The tablet that I'm using is kind of old, I guess. I don't think so. I got it 4 or 5 years ago. I don't consider that to be old. Like something like 10 years ago, maybe. But with technology and how quickly things are moving. There's like a new iPhone every few months, and they do make some feature changes. I wouldn't be surprised if the sensitivity to and the response time is vastly different now in comparison to like what this tablet is capable of doing. But anyways, for the most part, I really just would like to take things to traditional and stick to traditional only. And just have it how it was before, where the computer would be just used to touch things up as opposed to being like the entire process from start to finish. So much to do, so little time. I'm amazed when people say things like I'm bored. I'm like, there's just so much you could learn and you can develop and get good at. How are you bored? I hate that I don't have enough time to do all this different stuff that I want to do. I absolutely hate it. That's kind of why I'm like streaming all this different stuff, because I want to learn how to do traditional coloring and be really quick and good at it. And the same thing with inking. I enjoy all those processes, and I want to find more time for that. I think when it comes to people saying that stuff, it's because they've allowed procrastination to eat all their motivation. Like it's become it became such a habit that now it's just like default state. Kind of gave her like those neck rings that you see. Something that's common, I think, I'm gonna say like in African tribes, and I also think it was like in Mayan tribes, like the Aztec tribes, where it was like an indication of class. Like the more rings you had, the higher up in class you were. And I think the same is for gauges in the ears. Like I think that's more of like South American kind of thing. But it was for the same purpose. Like the bigger the gauges, the more wealthy and prominent you are in social culture. And Just another example of drawing through. Like I'm drawing through her other leg to make sure things line up. And I don't really see it lining up there, to be honest. Seems like the leg is a little too short. She's smoking a cigarette. So make her hold this pose. No, it looks like the hand is a little too big, because remember the hand is about 3/4 the size of the head. So if the hand looks like it's bigger than the head, it's going in the wrong direction. I'm gonna give her Debbie Harry cheeks. I want to kind of do like blowing out smoke. And smoke is challenging to draw because it's not supposed to have any lines, like any dark lines, really. So I'm kind of wondering whether I should just leave that up to color. I'm still not sure what Duke is going to be, and maybe that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the remainder of the stream. I don't know. I'm going to do my best. Trying to do like a jotting out glass display. Nah, looks too much like the one next to it. I'm gonna maybe erase these dots. I want to bring a variation into the scene. Probably just add some dirt. I want to say it has something to do with technology, because I feel like that's really what's gonna sell in that world. In the street, considering everybody's wearing them. Ooh, maybe different type of glasses. I'm gonna say like new. Brand new. It's challenging to do tiny font. No, compositionally. New design. And then just like have, nah, it's still not right. One of the things that I also picked up on that isn't really good is having objects touch each other, barely touching each other. Like, not really behind, not really all the way in front, just like sitting right on top of it. That's usually a really bad compositional choice. It connects like the object to whatever it's attached to, so it looks like it's just like one object. They're interconnected when really it's not meant to be that at all. But if you were to like put it behind or more in front, I think that breaks up the connection. Trying to do it a little smaller. I think once I start defining the front characters more, like the guy all the way on the left here, and this guy all the way in the foreground, I think things will really start to look up. And I can't forget about this little guy right here, little mouse. I think this process in digital drawing is really important. Zooming in. Despite that not being the case when it comes to traditional drawing, it really helps with response time. So from a distance, when I try to make these lines, there's a bit of a delay, I noticed. But when I zoom in, that delay is much, much shorter. So it's almost like necessary if you want to have a pleasant experience. There is another really good benefit to digital drawing, and I will be doing a demonstration of that. I believe maybe sometime next week, along with the special intro. And it's a really important one, and it has a lot to do with this program specifically, which makes this program so much more useful, I would think, than a lot of others. Like, it offers features catered to illustrators, I believe, more than other programs that I've used. Now, I haven't tried Krita, I believe. That's the new one. That is an open source, I believe, digital drawing program. It's free, and it's supposed to be very good. And offer some interesting features. I haven't given it a try, but I'm very happy with Clip Studio Paint, which is what this is, for multiple reasons, because of all the different tools that it offers, especially things like perspective, and I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, but other really good ways for you guys to create your drawings. Bit of a grimy place that says boost your experience, but I think that's what the irony of it is. And it's going to be a shop that's going to be for people who own those headsets that you see them wearing, for them to boost their experience, supposedly. Looks like a place that consumes a lot of energy. One of the reasons why I wanted to draw this, like, I'm going to say battery. That's what it is. It is a battery that sends off power to the inside. That's kind of a shabby area. There isn't much space, so it's kind of on the outside. which makes it kind of less inviting, for people who are like wanting to boost their experience, but options are limited in this area. And I'm going to say it's one of those like try at your own risk kind of places. You go in there, they're offering you to like boost your experience with whatever device you got, but if something was to go wrong, it's not their fault. It's your problem. You chose to do it. It's kind of one of those places. Lots of promises, zero liability. Something we are very familiar with. Typical capitalistic business. A dirty, grimy battery. Just in case there weren't enough red flags. I'll be honest though, I'm not too satisfied with these background buildings. I feel like I need more. I'm addicted to backgrounds now. I am excited for the weekend because I'm going to get a chance to catch up on some really good shows that are popping up. One of them is, maybe you guys have heard of it, Gandhi Tarkovsky's Primal. And if you guys haven't checked it out, I highly, highly encourage you to. Amazing work. Animation is beautiful. Colors are beautiful. And the entire story so far has been without dialogue. So you could already imagine like how well it has to be, how well the story has to be told in order for that to hold. And yeah, I highly encourage you guys to take a look and see how you like it. I absolutely love it. I think he does such an amazing job with expressions, face expressions, you know, in his style of Samurai Jack. This is different, actually. I think it's still, he takes it to the next level, really. But if you guys are familiar with Samurai Jack, it's an old school cartoon that was on Cartoon Network, and he was the creator of it. He also, I believe, he did other cartoons as well. I want to say he created Dexter's Laboratory too, and amongst other ones as well. I just can't think off the top of my head what those were, but yeah, that's him. He is that guy. And yeah, it's very, the cinematography is incredible, I want to say. But really what takes the limelight is the story and how he's able to portray everything that's going on without much dialogue there. There's maybe a couple episodes that I've seen with dialogue, but for the most part in the beginning, I want to say the first season, maybe halfway through the second, it's predominantly just visuals that tell the story. And portrays emotion very well also. So check that out, guys, if you're looking for something new to watch. If you want to see something that's very well done artistically. As far as illustration goes, that is, because all of them are artistic. Check that out. It's worth the time. And so it's a fun story. It's called Primal. So I'm going to be catching up on that. I'm also going to be catching up on the new Game of Thrones series, which I absolutely love. Again, very cool costume designs. I really enjoy the costume designs. They capture that time period well. The story, the acting is really good too. So far, I really like all the actors that they picked. Because I'll be honest, for the Game of Thrones, the ones that came out before, the one who ruined it was Khaleesi. Like, I really didn't. I'm not gonna say I really didn't like it, but I didn't really enjoy the acting. Kind of took me out of the experience. I'd say maybe towards the end of the seasons, I started to enjoy the character more. And maybe that was intentional, you know, maybe it was just intentional in terms of developing the character and having her be more more in the background until she really developed into what she did. I also binge watched The Boys. And I like it. I mean, it's ridiculous. As I talked about it before, it's like it's a little too extreme in cases when it comes to like how graphical it is with violence and all that stuff. But as I mentioned, like it's done so over the top that it's just comical. It's just ridiculous. You kind of laugh at how stupid it is. But I don't really enjoy that. I feel like that's just the same like way of appealing to people when they try to use like sex as a way to do it, you know, or like toilet humor. I think it's like a cop out of like trying to develop really good content. But it's a good series. It's based on a comic as well. If you guys haven't had a chance, I suggest you guys take some time and watch a couple episodes. It's a cool concept. It's a cool premise. You see that whole idea in a different light. You know, the idea of like superheroes and how they kind of exist within everyday life around people. Like usually the stories are focused so much on them that they're taken out of like any sort of real world aside from you knowing that they exist in the real world. Whereas in this series you kind of get a good glimpse of like, well, how would they actually play into society and everyday people and that sort of thing. Of course it still retains that fantasy and, you know, powers and all that other stuff. But I guess it like adds the element of capitalism and I guess the obligation that heroes have to just also respect the boundaries of human beings and limitations of human beings, that kind of thing. There's absolutely more to it, but it's just like a round the best summary that I can think of at the moment. All right, y'all. I am going to cut the stream here, get some food. This was a blast as always. I had a good time. I will be back next week, same time and place, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Figure Drawing Basics. 9 p.m. is going to be Drawing Comics. And make sure you check in on the other social media platforms or posts that I'm going to be making to know when the next special stream is going to be. It absolutely will be this coming week. And I'm really excited to show you guys that. Introduce the artist, introduce the book, show you guys his work. It's very mesmerizing, beautiful traditional work. So yeah, make sure you tune in then. And as always, if you guys enjoy the content, check out that subscribe button and click that like button. They both go a long way and help the stream grow. And of course, is greatly appreciated. That's pretty much it, y'all. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next week.